right, everyone. Thank y'all for showing up tonight. I do appreciate it. My name is Ezra Wheeler. I'm with Shangri-La Records. Welcome to Lo-Fi and Hi-Fi. Tonight, of course, we're doing Lil Noid's Paranoid Funk. If you don't know, I think most of you have been to one of these before, but I do see a few new faces in the crowd. We started this last year, just a way to shine a light on, the heroes and especially albums of classic Memphis hip-hop. This year, we are doing all albums from 1995, which are somehow celebrating their 30-year anniversary. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got Shangri-La's got a merch table here over to my left. Lil Noid's got a merch table here over to my right, your left. So please visit both, spend a little money. Helps us keep these events free, which we always want to do. But at the end of this evening, we will open up the floor for questions from the crowd. So as we chit-chat, if you think of anything you want to ask, please keep that in mind. And I think that, hold on, let me pull this up. Live stream, what's up, live stream? Thank y'all for joining us. Appreciate it. All right, without further ado, I'll keep saying that. Let's introduce our guest for the evening, Lil Noid.
How y'all doing, man?
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I do appreciate it.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure. Hey, cameraman.
Like I said, we are on the live feed. What's
Hey,
up, live
people.
feed? Everyone joining us there. But yeah, man, so you and I, we have never met in person. We've chit-chatted on the phone a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so when I've not talked to somebody before, let's start at the beginning, man. Just kind of let us know who you are. I guess anybody in this room and anybody checking in knows
Right.
the basics, right?
Right,
But
right.
yeah, just give us a basic overview of you, and then I would like to start with the early years, early influences.
Okay.
You know,
For those who
what
don't
made
know,
Lil Noid?
For those who don't know, I am Lil Noid. I am that guy. I started rapping when I was young, man. Matter of fact, it kind of started like in elementary school. I used to take the tapes. They had those old cassette players.
Right.
And when you got through with your work, you can go back and listen to it as a reward of doing your work early. So I would take all the educational tapes and tear it out. And I fuck the police, fuck the police. So that's kind of NWA. I couldn't listen to music like that because my mom was kind of like strict about that. But I had a partner every time I would come home from elementary, come home from school without the bus. He had older brothers. So what he would do is take and put like speakers on the front porch and leave the radio in the house. And that's kind of my first addiction to it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it wasn't Memphis music at that time because we hadn't progressed. Now, my cousin's Pretty Tony, so
There was a bit of
Yeah, to
that.
get booked, yeah.
Right.
So it elevated, and once I heard 360, it was just different, though.
Yeah.
It was like I didn't even care for Pac. Rest in peace, Pac. I love Tupac. I'm just
Sure.
saying, but at that time, it was like we would ride around with that. Sometimes they would play songs with no fucking lyrics, just 666, 666, Mafia. And we'd be so high off the cocaine and the weed, we just ride around like this here all day, you know what I'm saying?
Just the vibe itself,
Yeah,
the beat.
so I kind of got into this little rap group with me and my homeboys, and that's where it really started, like at high school with the kitchen tables on the back of the bus and shit like that.
Gotcha. In terms of rappers specifically, who was an influence? Was there anybody you tried to kind of base your flows or style on, or?
Lord Infamous was a big influence of mine.
Yeah.
Kusa was. Player Fly was.
Yeah.
Yeah, initially. Gangsta Black now, my niggas getting real, but like it was like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, but those was the guys that kind of really got me into it.
So you're both of that generation, but I guess a little bit younger. If they were influencing you, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I think of you, I don't know how old you are. And you don't
I
have to-
gotta say this though. the oh word, DJ Spanish Fly,
Yes.
Smoking Onions, stuff like that.
Right, right.
That was a heavy influence too. And then when what got me was they would name neighborhoods from the city, Smoking Onion. Follow home, Smoking Onion. I was like, damn, they never say my neighborhood. What the fuck is up with that?
You're Binghamton.
Right, and I'm from Binghamton. So
Right.
that was another pet peeve of mine. But I was.
It was somebody had to represent
Yeah,
the,
somebody had to
the
represent
Hampton.
it, because it was like this crowns, Penny Hardaway, Tay Keith. There's
Sure.
a lot of people that come out there. You may not know they had a lot of influence on other, people who you may be influenced by.
Dig that.
You know
dig
what I'm
that.
saying?
So speaking of 3-6, you ended up being a part of
Yeah.
that crew. Yeah, give me that story. How did you first link up? Was it Juicy J I think you first linked up with? But you tell the story.
Yeah, that's a weird story, dog.
We love weird ones.
That's a weird fucking story, dog. I'm going to tell you what happened. I was with some homeboys of mine. Matter of fact, I think we were like 60 deep. We may have been deeper than that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we had this phrase, damn it. It was either damn it or jail or hell. So this kind of give you an idea type of crowd I was with. You know what I'm saying? So we was making this fuss about us not paying top dollar to get in Juicy J's place. We didn't feel like we were supposed to have to pay it if it's 60 of us. Like, give us a deal. Like, God damn, it's 60 of us. We're going to buy the bar. We're going to do everything you want us to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You
So I
remember
had,
what bar? I'm just curious.
Huh?
You remember what venue?
I think it was Juicy J's place. It just was.
Okay.
We were real, we were rowdy. So what we would do was hit all the clubs and all the house parties.
Right.
Juicy just was in the line of fire that night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dig that.
So when we got down to in between the debate, my big cousin was like, man, fuck this shit. I tell you what, listen to my cousin rap. And he pushed me in the back, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dog, I ain't come down here for this shit, you know what I'm saying? But they had this glass on the front of the door, and they kind of, if you could hit on the right kind of glass, they had this certain kind of bass to it. And I just took the whole crowd over that night. It just swung from this way, that way, real quick, you know what I'm saying? Juicy said, hey, you come in. So when I got in, he said, man, rap that same thing over for me, the same way you just did it. And I think a day or two later, he was picking me up. We did Break Yourself, Bitch, Break Yourself.
Yeah.
So before I left, we was in Big Trees, Hollywood.
Sure.
We was in Big Trees garage, and he was like, man, I got this track I want you to get on. Eric Gales was on the hook. He had sampled Eric Gales riding in the
Lil E?
Chevy. Yeah, Lil E.
Lil E.
So,
yeah.
oh my God. But
That was one of my favorite,
yeah, but
most mind-blowing pieces of Memphis music trivia when I learned
Yeah.
Lil E was Eric Gales. So
yeah, I was blown away by it being Eric Gale because my only understood that he played the guitar.
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That's
how I knew it.
Arsenio Hall. Why would he be? So I was kind of stoked about it.
Right.
So I did the song when it came out. Nobody was on it. It was just me in the track. Just so happened when it came out, the song caught fire. Player Fly was on it. So he put me on the first verse, Player Fly on the second verse, and the rest is just history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never did. We supposed to perform the song for the first time at Juicy J's place at 380 Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we tore the fucking club up. Like literally. Like I don't know, we were the first somebody to shoot up Bill Street, but I know we was right in the line. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right. But this was the crazy part about it. I stayed in Fraser in a neighborhood called Spring Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Spring Valley. They be mad at me so much because they felt like I earned my street bones over there, and I didn't earn it in Binghamton. I earned it with them.
Fair.
So some of them used to chase me home. Sometimes used to chase me home. Sometimes they was so thick, they never would fight me one-on-one. So when I finally got a chance to have my neighborhood with me, when I saw him, I stepped out on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how I met Fly. I met him the next day. He said, man, y'all shut Bill Street down last night. We still had the same clothes on from the bullshit that we kept on last. My collar was halfway on. I don't even know the collar of my shirt was on me, right? So that's how I actually met Player Fly the next day.
I'll be down.
Because we never did get a chance to actually perform the song. By the time he got down, the Bill Street was shut down. He was like, what the fuck happened, bro? I said, everything, motherfucker. Everything happened. So, yeah.
That's great, man. That's great. So let's move into the album of the hour. How old would you have been in 95?
Man, I think I was 16 or 17.
No
or
shit.
something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Juice used to pick me up from every high school I got kicked out of or went to. So pussy was like, "Damn." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they would surround the car, surround me.
You were a superstar at 16.
Yeah, as a kid. Yeah. So it was a lot of people ask me how did I go to prison if I was rapping with 3 6. They don't understand it. At that time, crack was a big thing.
Right.
So my family was kind of like big with that. So I would more so tell adults what to do, include my homeboys. So I had no boundaries, no restriction. I was fucking out of hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dig that.
So sometimes I don't think prison was so bad because I was kind of, I was a scary little guy.
Right.
Like I wasn't the little guy that you wanted to. If it was dark somewhere and you saw me, I don't think I was the guy you wanted to see at that time.
So this is I've had the pleasure of, we did this series last year, Gangsta Black, Blackout, Tommy, but it's like all of y'all have that similar story, and then y'all are all so sweet. It is demeaning almost, but like there's this calmness about y'all.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it just, but you know what? That whole generation, I'm like, they made the scariest fucking music to ever exist, and to a T, are the most kind of down,
I
humble.
Learned to, they came with a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time. It took a lot for them to
simmer down.
Yeah, to kind of calm me down, because I was always, if you know me, I'm very active and fast now.
Right.
On the cocaine and with the pistol, it was like a totally different thing.
Well, I guess I'm asking you about somebody in their 20s versus their 40s, which is
yeah.
It
was like
That's
way different. And then
that.
I had adapted to the lifestyle in a way where that it was more so live or die. Remember I told you the first fight we said jail or hell, so it was more so a live or die thing. This is where we live. This is where we die. It wasn't an in between. We didn't think about the consequence or.
Right.
As time passed on, I kind of saw. I'm gonna give you an example. When I went to prison, when I was in 201, I met some guys that actually didn't deserve. I'm not gonna say they didn't deserve their life sentences, or they didn't deserve the 50 or 60 years they got. But the stuff that I was doing compared to what they got caught doing, it was like, damn. So sometimes when the guys would try to jump me, I would get my cousins to come out there, and they would ride out there with a Chevy with 2 pumps on the back seat. So as I went through my prison time, I said, what if we had actually caught one of those people at that age, and I wasn't ready to not tell or didn't know anything about snitching or keeping my mouth closed. I didn't know anything about none of this. And I saw guys that got caught up in that one in particular, that cycle that I didn't get caught up in. Like I had a friend that ended up getting a life sentence. They went into a convenience store, and it's this Chinese guy that used to always fuck with them. Man, you guys, you get out of bite. So they pulled a pistol out, just to kind of scare him a little bit.
Right.
They were just fucking with him. The fucker went off. And they killed him. So it was like, damn. And they were like kids. So to see him get a life sentence, and I was like, oh my God damn. I got an 8-year sentence out of what I did compared to what he did. What if I had got caught with some of the shit that we was doing? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of so when you speak about that humbleness, that's one thing
it's well earned.
Yeah, it's well earned. You know what I'm saying?
Dig that. Well, let's get there. Like I said, the album of the hour. Did your stint with 3 6? What was it like preparing for your first solo album, man? I mean, that's a whole different animal.
I actually wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I used to be with Juicy a lot, all the time. So Blackout. It's a guy named Slim. They used to be on Blackout stuff all the time. He was like, man, we need to bring it back to the hood. And I was like, I don't know. So I talked to Skinny. Skinny was like, if you got somebody producing your music, dog, you basically got all the ingredients. You know where to go get it. H&W was Stewart at the time. You know where to go get it duplicated at. You know how to put it out. You know the procedures of taking pictures. You know how to. I knew the whole 9 yards.
Right.
So Skinny was like, man, maybe you want to do it on your own. The thing that made me do it was that I was a little afraid I had been around and seen Gangsta Black first album come out, and a lot of the artists' albums weren't living up to the collaboration work they were doing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I was like, damn, maybe I should bring out my album. Because when I brought out the Killer Clan, they put featuring the new member 666 Mafia on the front of it. So Skinny was like, be careful, because that looks like your album already. And if they push you back any further, you may not even come to the forefront. And so I was like, okay. I had a debate with myself, and I said, you know what, we're going to just do it ourselves. And that's how I met Blackout. I think the Try Me, we went and borrowed a sampler from somebody to sample that. So it was all organic. It was all raw. We didn't know what we were doing. It was all just on a whim. And the only thing we had was passion.
Right.
And that's what got us here to this day.
Dig that. Let's take a quick break. Let's listen to Try Me.
Yeah.
If you wanna try, when I'm on the snout, I think I can fly.
Hey man, I got one of those cameras at home. I don't know what to do with it. I got an A74. Okay.
If you wanna try, when I'm on the snout, I think I can fly. If you wanna try, when I'm on the snout, teardrops drops my eyes with the 9mm insert the clip, cock and paste it in my lap, fall into a deep sleep. Grab a rope, hang on by his feet, fucking with me. Miss a tiny niggas trying to catch a creep. Look into the mirror. Know I see things you don't see. Jackie hit the glove. Niggas that the dodger friends, never wear your friends, smiling in your face, stab you in your back and never stop. Trying to out the bullets, living every day, selling yams in the cutter, trying to make some ends to keep my pockets from broke. If I make it, it's gotta be for a lick, but I'd rather pimp hoes or slang dope. But I'm to the point where I don't understand your game plan. My breath get shot, the bullet wounds hurt. I think I'm gonna die, man. But no, this is close. I can only say this once, but you're just a man, but you're not being to risk. You know, grab my Glock with the quickness, back this bitch up in it, fuck shit. I get a stain switching to my Bonneville, grab a couple switches, let the tent, oh, we locked out, smoke out, hit black out, when 20 gauges broke out, Fresno hit the gas now. Better back to Enrich, counting on the cheese, robbing gang, stacking is my favorite game. Smoking on my weed, forward like a tight rope, hung low, miss a tiny man.
You got a big bird coming. Refill. It is. The best. The best.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So as we were playing that, Noid was sharing. Yeah, let's share with the crowd.
Yeah, so the guy you heard on the second verse was that guy that actually put me and Blackout together. His name is Slim. Man, he passed away a couple years ago. I hate that because he was the only positive, force that kept everything.
That connected force, yeah.
Right. It's like when Grandma passed and she quit throwing the barbecue.
Yes,
the whole family.
that's right.
And he was one of those guys. So now I met Tiny. I had heard Tiny on some squeaky stuff, and I think I was going. I kept getting kicked out of different high school. My grades was good, but my attendance was terrible. You know what I'm saying? So I think I met him at it was either Overton or Sherfield. I know me and Player Fly was going to Sherfield. He was at Tech at the time.
Okay.
So it may have been Overton. So when I met him there, he was really a tiny guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in every shape, form, and fact, he was really tiny, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we would get together and we would rap. I said, "Dog, I got to get you on my tape." And he was excited to do it, and we got it out the way. I don't know if him and Squeaky had a little thing about that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they didn't, I try to excite it because I was like, you gave me a better version than you gave Squeaky, man. That's cool with me, dog. He used to stop saying that shit, no. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna hear you and take it the wrong way.
Well, I just told you off camera that maybe my favorite, and you said it was.
It's my
That's your
favorite.
track from that
Yeah, it's my
period
favorite.
or from the album or just?
Just from that album.
Yeah.
Because the energy that came from it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the energy that comes from certain things you can't remake it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
and everybody was so
Well, and the playing off of each other, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Everybody
you
played
can
off each
it
other
feels
so, right.
organic.
It
and-
felt so normal that the rest of them, me and Blackout kind of had to get in the trenches and figure out that one just worked itself out.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to talk. Literally, you led me into it. Just talk. What was being in the trenches like with you and Blackout? Did he have pre-made beats that you were selecting? Were y'all working in tandem? Because
I think
Blackout produced the entire album, correct?
Yeah. So it was just one of those things where we just went through little tracks that he made. Sometimes he would make tracks. Sometimes he had them. You know what I'm saying? And we just ran with just that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was all organic. We didn't have man, nothing was well thought out. I hate to say that, but it was all like, okay, that's cool, let's go with that. Okay, that's cool, let's go with that. That's kind of where the Psycho sounds came from. So what I was trying to do was not get away from the darkness of 3 6 Mafia, but I didn't want to imitate it on the same level. I wanted to give it its own life.
Sure.
So that's where the Psycho sounds came in.
Right.
That's the beginning of the Psycho sound.
Right. And then let's talk about the themes. I mean, the album, the name is Paranoid Funk. Paranoia is a big theme throughout. Was that something you were feeling? Was that more of a kind of leaning into this horrorcore, choosing a lane?
I knew about Parliament and the Funkadelics. My dad always kept me in tune with like the old music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and yeah, man, we snort the best cocaine in the world. You know what I'm saying? So my name was Nord, and I was like, well, just go with Paranoid Funk, which is used there. It's just something that just came to me, and we just ran with it.
Yeah. Dig that. What else I got on here? So yeah, back like on the album, I wondered, bring us back to the reception you felt when it came out, but then I also want to talk about it's really gained cult status, in the last few years.
Yeah.
You've got
Death Row,
Dan Auerbach, Lil Ugly Man. I mean, stars
right,
shouting its praises.
Yeah, Slim is actually Ugly Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Dig
it's the
that.
same person.
I did not know that.
It's the same.
That shows
person.
my ignorance.
He started with Ugly Man then eventually he involved with just Slim. I don't know why, because I like the Ugly Man,
Yeah, me too. That's a good name.
It snatched you a little bit better. It made you want to listen to
I agree.
Ugly Man. Let's see what he got to say.
That's right.
But Death Row was another one of my favorites. I had a homeboy named Manote.
Death Row is a classic.
That he was from Chicago. He died when he was 14 years old. He's the first real homie I ever just buried in high school. And that was like one of his songs. And I was kind of like, he would always say, rap that. And I was like, dog, I write other shit, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he like, no, I like that one. But the only reason Death Row became, it became a scary song to me, and I'm explaining it to you. I ended up doing 2 years on 23 and 1. So when you get maxed out from prison and they feel like your custody level too high or you may be violent, they keep you away from normal population. So I think I pissed one of the guards off, one of the sergeants, and they moved me in this cell where it has like a window, but my window was facing Death Row. So I would always see the Death Row inmates come out. So I got so sick of it, I would take cardboard and put it in my window. I didn't even want to let the sun come in because I didn't want to look at Death Row every morning. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why when I write music now, people be wanting me to go into a certain place. That's one place I'm not going to go back into because it was kind of weird for me to see Death Row every morning. And I was like, I always wonder why I wrote this song. And now I'm sitting up here every time I look out my window just to get sunlight. It's right there.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that was wild. So.
Would you mind if we listened to it?
No, I wouldn't. Not at all. Not at all.
Let's listen to Death Row.
Yeah, that freaked me out, man. That freaked me the hell out.
I can imagine.
Rest in peace. It's for you, baby boy. Remember when we used to bump it together? It still goes on. Growing up, nothing changed. It's the same. Daddy used to tell me on the streets that it's a man game. Never trust nobody. I'm almost crossed it wrong for all. Better watch your baby back again, cause that's just gonna fall. Man, it I'm a wrong man. Begging is a natural thing. Living in the fast lane, cause I'm in a crib gang. Now I'm selling dope and breaking them down to the niggas that dance.
So the first time I seen it was money on top of money. Right, so when the paycheck came, he got his paycheck plus a quarter of everybody else's He's figuring shit out, you know what I'm saying? Now the other guy, Black. Black went to real estate. He went to play ball and went to real estate. I went to prison, and Minot died. So when we look at when you look at the movie, Blood In, Blood Out, with the blue blouse. Yeah. My mama couldn't even watch the movie because the three characters reminded her of us so much. She was like, "Damn, Derek, I see you. I see Minot. I see Black." So I watched the movie like 19 times because I couldn't believe somebody had such a resemblance to my story like this.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, man, like I was getting at, it's now the album is such a classic of the Memphis hip-hop canon of the 90s.
Yeah, man, they do the EDM music over in Germany, overseas. They sample
Bumping it.
They stay bum rushing. They put it, you know, you have to really listen close because it's going so fast. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Did that, I don't know, was it shocking to you? Does it feel like the culture finally caught up with you? Like, what has this been, this like late career resurgence felt like? You know, did it come out of left field or you've been waiting on it?
No, it came out left field.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blackout. It came out left
Hey,
field.
there he is.
Legend in the building. Shout out to Blackout. No, it was left field, bro. It really was left field. And then when I seen what they done with it, it was like, oh shit. I wish I could have done this, God damn it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they did a great job with it. That's the guy by the name of KSVL. Suicide Boys.
Right, of course.
It's a few people that took it and they cultivated it in a way where that I appreciate it. But they also reached out to me. They didn't play any like.
Good. I'm glad to hear
man,
that.
we don't know who you are. They was like, okay, no, just send us this, send us that. We'll take care of you, man.
Cool.
And I was like, wow, goddamn.
Yeah.
Clearing samples became to be the thing for a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I forgot how to write after a while.
Are there any of those tracks that you particularly like?
It's mostly everything off of the P-Funk album.
Yeah. Dig
So
that.
it was man, it was a lot of gratitude in that. Another thing, when I got with the Black Keys in Nashville, they were so crazy about the album. Joe Rogan played the album on his show. I was like, get the fuck
It was
outta
right here.
Huh?
Let's just jump out. That question was right here.
Yeah, so
Let's
that-
jump into it. Like, if
that
y'all
blew me
don't
away.
know, my man was featured on the last Black Keys album, which was
Ohio
for
Players.
Ohio Players.
Yeah.
A really fine, great album. But I remember it dropped, and I looked at the track list, and I said, "What the
Yeah,
fuck?"
Beck, Juicy J was on it.
Yes.
Beck was on it. I was on
Yes.
it.
So yes, I didn't mean to cut you off, but tell us that story, how that happened, and then we'll listen to
They
Candy
actually-
and her friends.
They actually called me, man. I was so I called Chat and said, "Hey, Chat, I need to see if these people for real. Like, it don't sound like."
Did you know who they were?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Chat said, "Ask them this, do this, do this, and do that." So I did everything she said, and I was like, they came back the correct way. So I was like, man. They said, "Hey, man, just tell us what you want." So I just thought of some shit. I just looked up and said, "Hey, give me so-and-so, so-and-so." Okay, cool, man. I was like, they agreed to that shit? And they actually did it. And they said, "Listen, we need you to come up here for the weekend." They booked me a room.
Cool. Did you get to meet him?
Yeah, I was in the
Yeah.
studio with him for like 3 days.
They-
So we did like 5 songs. This
Okay.
Kid and Her Girlfriend was the only one that they actually went with.
Got it.
Now, when they was on the Billboard talking about it, they was telling Billboard that they actually wanted to make that the single.
Wish they had.
Yeah, I want to punch Warner Bros. In the face so bad. They went with another song, man. And the
Bastards.
Black Keys was pushing that, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, no,
right.
they won't let us do it, man. It's the powers that be. I'm like, man, fuck the powers that be. You know?
No doubt.
They were like,
Always
nah,
fuck the
that's
powers
all
that
right.
be.
It's always the fucking powers that be, man.
Do you
But
know
it
how
was-
they knew about you? Were they just fans from back when, or did you ever get that story?
I don't know. I just know that they, some kind of way, Juicy was tied into it, some kind of way.
Okay.
So I left it alone right there because he's a mysterious guy.
Fair
He's
enough.
one of those guys that's just move, and you
Right.
don't know until it moves.
If the universe hands you something, don't ask questions.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. That's what it was.
Take that.
One of those things. But I worked with him. I was in the studio with him. I did like 5 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just so happened to use that one. You know
Cool.
what I'm saying?
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and listen to Candy and Her Friends from the Black Keys album, Ohio Players. Just in case y'all missed it.
I love that song.
It's
too,
fun.
man.
I like it a lot.
And I think they talking about Candy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Candy. So it was perfect. When I heard the track, it had that riding in the Chevy rendition feel to it. So I just,
You just jumped in the box.
I wrote right to it. They was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's go.
They turn the day into a night. They're rolling down
Yeah,
the
yeah,
avenue
yeah.
like shadows in the light.
Man, I had a ball with those guys. And the thing about it, the whole experience was like surreal. So I would go to the hotel room and say, hey man, I want to do so-and-so. Don't worry about it, man. Just put it on the room. So I said, I get some pussies on the room? Yeah, just add it on the room.
At this point,
Yeah.
those boys got, yeah, I'm
I
glad
was
they
like,
fucked with you, 'cause they got
damn.
Yeah. That's
So like a
dope.
year later, they even had me on the news.
No shit.
Yeah,
In Nashville?
Miss Neely.
Okay.
She did a special on it. So I was like, Miss Neely, I come over there anytime you want. Anything you want me to do, I do it, Miss Neely.
Just give me the word.
Because I remember her from the Cooking Network.
You dig that. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
See, we got it ready for you.
Y'all ain't ready, man. I was just on this stage a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
How much the P-Funk album? Yours.
Here we go.
Yeah, he just did sound for us last month. I just think he did sound for us, man. How you doing, brother?
I had these open heart surgeries and shit, man.
Oh, really?
I had one, then I just had another one. But I had to go from here to here to over here. Well, you know, the areola that come from your heart, and my mama died. Yeah. 9 months, 15 days later, dog. No, 9 days later. After she passed, they had me trying to save my life on the table. I couldn't even go to her funeral. Yeah, I had got too stressed out. I had, it just popped out on its own. Yeah, I was just telling people this.
Because I remember she came and sat in the back of the class when we was in class one day using that cut.
Hey, she a boy.
I was laughing at you. I was like, oh, cut her back.
Nah, not my shit right there. Not my shit right there. I
You
mean, one
remember
time,
that?
yeah, I do. I got caught in yeah, so I caught a weed charge in Trinwell one time. The police closed the door. They said, go ahead. Man, dog. Bow. Bow. I'll tell you, police, man, don't take me to juvenile.
Black Keys featuring Lil Noid. Give it up. Yo, one more time. Give it up for Blackout in the building.
Black guy in the building.
Appreciate you coming, bro. But yeah, man, you've been busy, but before we,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
one. But
yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's move backwards and then we'll move back forwards,
cool,
right?
cool.
But yeah, man, I've always curious. So you had the 360 stuff to listen to, but the lo-fi sound. I know some of that gritty, dirty lo-fi sound was just birthed out of what you had. You know what I mean? It was. You weren't necessarily going for it. It was.
Yeah,
It was the effect
recorded,
of the equipment, but then how much did you lean into? Like at that point, did you realize this is a wave that?
I didn't. I know Juicy had like a 6-track Tascam. I don't even know that damn thing exists anymore. So he would record me on that, and then he would go back and add it into the, however he did it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So it was all of it was a new experience to me. I didn't really know where it was going, or it actually took off way faster than I was ready for it. Cause like one summer I was this plain kid, and the next summer I got a whole neighborhood.
Knew you,
Right.
recognized you.
So every school I go to is, I went to Kingsbury, and the whole fucking school followed me around, throwing garbage cans, and you know, so I was like, God damn, like
Right.
it just was a different thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My teachers used to tell me, you too grown, because you know I was like 16 or 17, and 19-year-old girls used to pick me up from school, and they would get out of the driver's side and get on the passenger side and let me drive. So my teachers was like, you too fucking grown, man. So it was a different thing. It was way different.
Dig that. Who we got? Come on in.
Yeah, I'm inviting them in like this. I'm waving them in.
We got room. We got room. Yeah, tell me. Said I do want to keep the focus. I want to move on because, like I said, I know you've been up to a lot of things. But talk about some highlights from making Paranoid Funk. Some of your favorite moments, favorite songs. Just what does that album mean to you?
Man, I can't. I haven't made anything that means as much.
Yeah, it's the magnum opus.
The nostalgia of it. It was all organic. This dude was so hungry, and we were so hungry, we didn't really have a lot of knowledge about what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to get it done.
How long do you remember how long the process was from starting to getting it out?
It didn't take long.
Yeah.
It didn't. It's like the minute me and him met, it was like
Y'all were getting it.
yeah, we were gone. It didn't take long at all. You know what I'm saying? So like,
We talking weeks?
but yeah, about a good month. It didn't
That's
take
crazy.
a whole lot of time. It was like it was fast. Everything was like I told you earlier. It was just go, go, go. The minute we get this, we're going with the whole thing. So it
Right.
was one of those organic things that just worked itself out. And I never even thought that. Man, I was in prison and I seen it under the category of horrorcore. I had to ask people what the fuck that was. I didn't know what the because I didn't, I
What
didn't
does that
know.
mean?
The internet kind of blossomed when I was in there, so I had to kind of catch up with a lot of stuff when I came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like that? Does that term make sense to you?
At first, I didn't know what to think of it,
Uh-huh.
and then when I seen the impact of it, I said, "You don't even think about it. Let's let it be. Leave it alone. Just go with
Yeah.
it. Just leave it alone. It works. Leave it alone."
That's fair. That's fair. Can we listen to one more track and then we'll move on?
Yeah, man. I'm enjoying
got it.
myself. I hadn't heard.
I'm
it in a
having
while.
fun, bro. You got a request? What have we listened to? Have we listened? We haven't listened to Load My Clip yet.
That's what
That's the one. I read your mind.
Yeah,
I
there
read
you
your
go,
mind.
there you
Let's
go.
do it. Yeah.
It's those bells.
Yes.
Man, I never thought. Exactly. That was the only thing that we was kind of meticulous about. answer was like straightforward.
You write everything?
Yeah.
Most people do, and I think
I'm a
I love to write. Yeah. You still? I mean, I need you. Yeah. When I was in the fourth grade, my teacher got on the phone to the school, and I thought I was in trouble like a motherfucker. And finally caught up with me. She said, "No, your son is writing on a different level than the rest of the class." And I was like, "Okay." Finally, yeah.
Right, she never knew what to kind of do with it. Cause she would see me always doing stuff with the pen. She like, so the music came up to me like, and she's on the church that lady.
The one that said heard.
Right, so
Glad you found the avenue, but. Sure. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm a British. Let's like. If there's anything you want to touch on, otherwise I'm gonna get into the new album and we can like bump the new album and kind of. Is there anything in particular you want us to touch on before we get into the new album?
Nah, we can get into the new John.
Okay.
Because it's the reason why I named it Passion, Poverty, and Pain.
Right. And we can touch on a few things about that.
Yes, right. Yeah, I like this.
It's a cool little setup, man. I hate that the rain, but you know, it's crowded like I said, the live stream's good. We'll have it on YouTube. I'll share it with you.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming, man. I really appreciate it. I really do.
I had this the first thing I did since those surgeries.
Good.
So I was kind of like
Ready to get out and do something. You feeling all right?
I am.
Good.
A couple weeks ago I was like
Load my clip.
You're a black. I said I ain't heard this stuff in years.
Has it been that long? He said the same thing. Well, boys, y'all were on y'all shit. Y'all got a room of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't even get no sleep, bro. I was just doing it all night. Sleep on the couch, get up, go straight.
I was a
Back to
terrible
the
kid,
music.
so it didn't make me no difference. I was full of cocaine. I didn't care. I didn't care.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, man. We've been focusing a lot on the past, which
Okay.
as we should. But you recently, last month, dropped a new project,
Yeah, Passion, Poverty, and Pain.
Passion, Poverty, and Pain. Tell us a bit about it. We'll listen to a little bit about it, or a little of it. But yeah, man, just tell us about that project.
As you know, I've had some serious health problems. I had open heart surgery. Then I turned around and had an aneurysm on my heart. I lost my mom. Ethan! I lost my mom. So I kind of wanted to go back and touch on some things that in the past, I may have been a little afraid to touch on because I didn't know how people may receive it. They're so used to me being with the fuckery. You know what I'm saying? The buffoonery, the bullshit and the foolishness.
Sure.
They're so used to that. So I want to kind of give them something a little different. So I wrote songs like 4 or 5, Elevated, and I really wanted to touch on, especially with Elevated, I wanted to touch on certain subjects because I had lost so many friends to certain shit that we were doing. So the guys that I had around, I really wanted to more so celebrate life. That's more so what the song is, a celebration with life with them and accomplishments and accolades and shit like that.
Right.
But I didn't want to get so far from stuff like that I would lose people. So I wrote a song, the third song on this called What It Feel Like. And that song was based on like Okay, you heard elevated, you heard 4 or 5, but before we get off into this luxurious lifestyle, I want to explain to you that I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to be hungry. My pops did heroin and cocaine his whole life. If he didn't do that, he was drinking, you know what I'm saying? He was there but absent, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I had homeboys, their mothers that did crack, so sometimes they had to feed themselves however they could. Some of them would stand by my window if they couldn't eat, and I would feed them whatever my mama would feed me. She would think I had an appetite that night. It really wouldn't.
Just passing it on,
Yeah,
right.
it was just stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to get into the humanity, you know, the actual struggle of things. So I kind of used those first two to get into the meat of, you know, what I wanted to say. Because like I said, I was afraid to say certain things because I felt like all they want to hear is this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, being vulnerable in general is hard, but especially if you've made a career.
You know, as an artist, you take things so personal.
Right, right.
If people say one wrong thing about you, like, what you missing? You don't understand. But I just wanted to paint the perfect picture.
Yeah.
If I could. But I didn't want everything to be such a pretty picture because life doesn't work like that.
Well, I really dug it because it doesn't always work this way, but it walked the tightrope between sounding like you, at least the you I know from the tape we're talking about.
Right.
But updated sound, updated feel, but it was like, I'm listening to a Lil Noid album just in 2025, you know, which...
And I want you paranoid about, I wanted to keep the paranoid feel, but in this sense, with the new album, it was more so paranoid about where are we going as a race of people? Where are we going as humanity? You know, where
if you're not paranoid in 2025, what are you doing?
Exactly.
What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, have
Right.
you looked around lately?
Exactly.
And that's what this was about. Just look around. It's not the things that we came from. It's not the things that we used to. And we're getting so far away from those things that I don't know where we're going to be in the next 10 or 20 years if we keep on going away from the things that matter.
That's right.
You know
That's
what
right.
I'm saying? So, like...
Dig that. Well, let's, I want to continue talking for a little bit, or I may open it up to the floor, but give me one track off the new album you want people to hear.
Elevated.
Elevated. This is Elevated off the new album.
I got one of my partners, so we come through a lot, so we elevated.
Oh yeah, we elevated.
Elevated.
The shit is concentrated. Oh yeah, we elevated. We come together and we celebrate it. We take a pledge and we demonstrate it. Outside the circle, we won't conversate it, and we do not debate it. Oh yeah, we elevated. We come together and we celebrate it. We take a pledge and we demonstrate it. Outside the circle, we won't conversate it, and we do not debate it. Oh yeah, we elevate. Ain't no blocking my place, I see better days. Can't be locked in the cage, cause I can't get paid. Like I need to get paid, so I'm on the blade. When you're dedicated to it, it ain't no halfway. We do not elaborate it, we don't have much to say. So just tell me what you're saying, so I can estimate. Put it in perspective so we can all relate. My objective is collective, a different mind state. You want bars on my guard, look at my first aid. I'm killing these niggas, it's like a death date. And we want it all, so yeah, we celebrate. But when you get the call, nigga, we no stakes. Elevated. We come together and we celebrate it. We take a pledge and we demonstrate it. Outside the circle, we won't conversate it, and we do not debate it. Oh yeah, we elevated. We come together and we celebrate it. We take a pledge and we demonstrate it. Outside the circle, we won't conversate it, and we do not debate it. Oh yeah, we elevated. 7 years in prison, but when the streets call, I got a vision with my release, dog. I'm on a mission to get this package, y'all. See, I'm from the streets, I'm not a rapper, y'all. The politics of this shit, I don't like it all. Niggas plot to murder, become your downfall. I guess that's why they labeling me the underdog. The devil's playground, I'm on my DJ Paul. I hear him talking big, but money looking small. Go ahead and get a gig, you not a hustler, dog. The streets will eat you up like Snowden fitting all. Plus they raw and uncut. Like yeah, we elevated. We come together and we celebrate it. Celebrate it. We take a pledge and we demonstrate it. Demonstrate it. Outside the circle, we don't conversate it. And we do not debate it. Oh yeah, we elevate it. Elevate it. We come together and we celebrate it. Celebrate it. We take
Yo,
a
that's
pledge and we
Elevated off
demonstrate it.
Passion, Poverty, and Pain. Give it up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yo,
thank
so
you.
look, we got a few, we got a little while left, but do we have any you mind taking questions from the crowd?
Before we take questions from the crowd, I want to send a shout out to Zerk because he always think I'm bullshit
Let's
with him.
go.
Zerk got so many of my homeboys 30 years with that damn song. He think I just be telling him that. He just don't understand. So
That's
shout
right.
out to Zerk.
Dig that.
Love you too, man.
Yeah, man, if anybody got any questions they want to ask, just walk on up. We got a mic here ready for you. If not, I can keep on rambling. I know JB got something to ask.
JB always got something.
JB always got something to ask. He's a deep thinker. Nah. He said nah. There you go.
Okay.
Look, Noah, what made you want to really start doing this rap? You know, what influenced you?
The DJ Zerks, the Squeakies, the Juicy J's, and the DJ Pauls.
Dig that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Any other questions from the crowd? Yeah, come on up, George.
Okay.
So part of your whole comeback resurgence story that's been so crazy recently is this record, man.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how much of a topic of conversation this has been because of the first 3 tracks and the creation of this record. Can you talk any about how this happened and what the story is behind how this record got created, the picture on the front, all that stuff?
Well, that extra picture comes from what is the LA? What is the LA? The LA Club Resource. They wanted to reissue the album, but they didn't have. This was the crazy part about. I didn't have any pictures when I was younger. The only thing I had was that one picture with Juicy J, and that was it. So they wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah, they wanted something that was. So I got that picture off my mama's wall. Oh my God, I paid dearly for fucking with that picture. That lady was so mad at me. You know, because I think it kind of peeled off a little bit. She had it so long.
Right.
So it kind of broke away a little bit. So when I put it back in the picture frame, you can kind of see where somebody had fucked with it. That's how she knew. But yeah, the album itself, we just was trying to bring something back to our neighborhood. Like Zerk them didn't say Binghampton. Squeaky them wouldn't say us. DJ Spanish Fly, nobody would say Binghampton. They respected Binghampton and stuff like that. But we never did make the cut when it came to giving shout outs. So the biggest thing with doing that album was to unite Mitchell Heights and Binghampton for one. Because Mitchell Heights and Binghampton was completely separated. They had better dope boys. They had better drugs.
Remember them time.
Yeah, so it was different. You know what I'm saying? We actually robbed them.
They had the robbers.
Yeah, right.
I know quite a few of them.
So for us to we had to kind of say, hey, we got to quit beefing and fucking with each other and come together. And Blackout was the key to that. You know what I'm saying?
What can I get an album?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you got it. You got it.
But you know something, Lord, I thought you was out the east.
I know.
Where that story come from? You was out.
You know what?
You went to school out there or something?
I'm gonna tell you something, Zerk. God damn it, you. Now Zerk is a genuine Memphis guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Zerk would kind of check me about that, and I was like, I'm gonna leave Zerk alone because Zerk don't know that I was a fucking fool over there. I was a fucking robber. You know what I'm saying? But he actually, if I remember the story, he actually used to hang out in my neighborhood way back in the day. But the parts that he used to hang out in at the time, I hadn't quite elevated to be in Red Oak and certain Mimosa apartments. I hadn't elevated. I was from the low end,
Right.
so I was kind of my terror hadn't hit the high end quite when he was around the way. But yeah. See, he didn't even know. You see what I'm saying? So the thing was, after the tapes came out, that's kind of when I went to the high end. So that's when the high end actually what bagged me. I know it sounds crazy because it's one neighborhood. When I said a high end and low end, some people don't like it separated like that, especially when we're
Right.
from one hood. But the low end, you can make $1 million and not be seen. On the high end, they're gonna kill you.
Mm.
If you're not a killer, if you're not really serious about,
Best not.
they're gonna kill you.
Right.
No joke, no. They're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah, they're gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah.
you play, you don't know what you're doing. Matter of fact, the neighborhood I grew up in, I grew up in this place called Johnson Circle. Johnson Circle is the only safe haven in Binghamton. So I'm gonna give you a crazy scenario. Everybody that left Johnson Circle either was crazy, on dope to this day, or died a horrible death.
Mm.
Now the guys that came from the high end, they actually own houses, they own businesses, trucking companies, and I'm explaining it to you. We had a safe haven and we didn't take advantage of it. We could have stayed there. Like my homeboy Cole Red, he went to college on a baseball scholarship.
Right.
That's where the fuck he should have stayed. You know what I'm saying? But the guys who actually came up with both mothers and father on dope, they had a different vision of how to get out. We were trying to go to where they was trying to get out of, so that's kind of how I elevated in Binghamton. Then I had big cousins that were Pretty Tone and his brother. They were key factors. So it was kind of, I had one cousin that used to cut my hair. He used to send me to the car to go look for certain things, certain clippers or certain levels to get my fade right, and he would have a trunk full of weed. I had one cousin I come in the kitchen, they cooking up a quarter bird.
Mm.
So I didn't have to go around the corner, up the street, around the block. It was
Right there.
It was right there the whole time. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's kind of how I kind of got. I felt like I had a legacy to live up to.
Yeah.
After a while, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of got stuck with that shit like that.
Dig
Yeah.
that. Any other questions?
Oh yeah, man, that's a fucking good question. Oh my God,
So,
that's a good question.
may I jump in just
no,
for
no, that's a
for,
good question, bro.
for
But
our
LA
live stream people? This is the 3 tracks that were on the LP, the
I think it
vinyl
was-
LP that were not on the original album. How did
right.
that happen?
So
yeah.
when they re-released it, me being the smart guy I am, I didn't listen to it. You get my drift? I didn't listen to it because I expected it to be in raw form, straight from Blackout, the way he did it. So when it came out, I didn't pay any attention to it. It took months. It took months for me to go back and be like, wait, I don't know that shit. What the fuck is that? But when the ink dried, the ink had dried.
Yeah, it was what it was, huh?
Yeah, the ink had dried, and those little gratuity words, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Forever, if the world blow up and come back, it's still this. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't even listen to it. So that's how they got on there. I didn't even pay any attention. Yeah, that's the guy to ask that question to right there. Because I don't know, I don't even know how that mix-up came about. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
I do appreciate the controversy about it, though.
It's
I'm
fun.
not gonna lie to you. I appreciate.
Well, and
that.
I appreciate you when I said, what version of the album like, should I play? You said, Spotify's fine. And I said, thank you.
Yeah, because
I'm glad.
If you kind of listen to it, you can kind of Blackout got a specific sound.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Of
Like,
course.
I always have had a specific sound.
always has.
So you can kind of tell, like, there may not be Blackout right there. That may be.
Some,
Yeah.
some.
But
no.
that's how it happened. Bro, I never did listen to it.
the new songs.
Yeah, good. You know, I
Smart.
should try that. You know what I'm saying? I should try that.
There you go. All right. Any other questions? If not, man, we'll. Do you mind taking photos, signing albums, selling shit?
No, I don't, man. I had a blast. Thank
Oh,
you
you
guys
got
for
one?
coming out.
How's it feel to be alive?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you
Great
this.
question.
I was getting out of prison. I had this home, but remember when I told you they caught that fucked up life sentence by
Yes.
playing with the guy?
Right.
So he quit kicking it with me for like 5 or 6 years. We went to different prisons. We ended up at the same one before I got ready to go home. And he said some shit that I never heard a guy say before in my whole fucking life. Like, I was like, dog, I'm finna get ready to go home. What you need. I'm gonna go take care of your people. I got 1,000 here. I got this. I can just take care of you whatever you want. But he didn't want none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? He said the weirdest thing in the world to me. He said, dog, when you get out and prove to your mama that you a man, when she finally look at you like you a man, like, tell me what that shit feel like you owe me that. Tell me what it feel like to get that feeling from your mom, that respect you for being a man. And I was like, dog, you gonna make me cry, bro. Goddamn, bro. I would have gave you anything, goddamn.
Wow.
But considering that I lost my mom last year, dog, that shit meant so much to me when he said it.
Yeah.
So to be alive, when she passed, 9 months later, I was on the operating table fighting for my life. You know what I'm saying? So after that, they found an aneurysm on my heart. I had to go back in there and let them go back through the same shit I just went back through. And believe it or not, I was walking, you know, just trying to get some strength to my heart at East High. Got this long,
Right.
like this long thing that you could walk to kind of, I walk it 2 or 3 times to walk a mile. I was leaving and I was complaining about like my leg or my foot for the circulation in it sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of aggravating and my foot will feel numb. I drove by one of my homeboys' house and he came outside and he had both his feet cut off. So he walked to the car and I said, God damn, dog. I was complaining like 5 minutes ago. I was complaining about a little tingling in my foot and he just lost both his feet. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
every day I wake up, man, I deal with a lot of women. I don't know why I do that, but I tell them I'm just glad to be here. So if I don't have this, if I don't have that, whatever it is, I'm just glad to be here. Because it's so
That's
much
it.
shit.
Yeah, give it up for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know you've, to your point, dealt with a lot of health issues. You were telling me part of your reason for Motivate. You did great promo for this, which I appreciated. But you were like, I needed to get out and do something.
Yeah, I needed
and
to. I
so-
had been laying there. I had just been laying there, and my sister boyfriend, when I got this second operation, he was my mailman. Good dude, man, like real smart, like well in tune with what to invest in. He did real estate, he did taxes and stuff like that. He had a big house, so he was on the route when he died, like 2 days after my operation. So I'm at home. I take that back. About 12 days after my operation, about 2 days of me being actually home, my sister called and said he passed. So I was like, God damn, like just that fast, you know? He was just bringing my mail the other day. You know what I'm saying? So I try my best not to get too high or too low about certain things, but I need to get out and, matter of fact, that's who filmed it right there. That's
Is that right?
That's why I keep pointing
We
his
appreciate
fat
you, man.
ass. You know what I'm saying? That's who filmed it because he always been there. When they had a festival downtown, he got me out and walked me through that. I really couldn't walk through it because my rib was hurting me so bad. He sat there with me till I could get ready and walk again and walked me through that. So he walked me through a lot of this. If I never had a friend in this situation, he was. You know what I'm saying?
Cheers
So
to you.
shout out to him.
I just want to ask you how you run into Juicy J or how that came about.
Yeah, with Juicy, like I told him, it was more so in my neighborhood. My big cousin, I got a like Big A. Big A was yeah, Big A was a type of guy, huh? Nah, this dude here is he was beating grown men up when we was kids. So my first fight kind of happened through him. He's like, "What's your name, man?" I'm Ladiri. Plow boy, found Ladiri. Pop. That we fighting, you know.
Right.
So whatever word he gave, that's what we did. So he would him and my cousin would get in cars, and I know this sounds terrible. They would get in cars and let us drive around the neighborhood. We would pick fights, or we would fight junkies, or whatever we had to do. But he wanted to make sure that you were what the fuck you said you were. You weren't somebody that jumped off the porch and said, "I'm this." You couldn't do that around them.
Right.
That's kind of why I kind of gradually went into the streets. I didn't just jump. And it seems like I jumped straight off, but I did. But I didn't. The guys that I was dealing with, they didn't play bullshit. I was going to rob somebody one night, and we had this 22, and my homeboy pulled out this big ass 4.5. Man, you gonna get yourself killed with that little shit. You gonna die, boy. So he gave me this big ass 4.5. You like, you know how the Joker pull a big gun? Take this shit with you and bring my shit back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I learned not like the younger guys, they play around with things. I learned not to. That's where the humbleness come from. You know what I'm saying? Like most of these guys I'm speaking of, you wouldn't, you'll get yourself fucked up because you will think they laid back and you'll get yourself hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I took on the role of not being so aggressive and being a little bit more calm and still being whatever I needed to be. But I met Juicy through them. You know what I'm saying? Like they were adamant about, man, listen to my little homie rap. So I'm sitting there like, and they looking at me like this, go away, man. God damn. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a choice, you know what I'm saying? I thank God that they did that, you know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't have walked up to Juicy J and said, hey, I rap with the woo. You know how artists do these days. I would not have done that, dog. You know what I'm saying? And when I say he pushed me in my back, he literally pushed me. So I ended up in front of the glass like, oh, my God, man, I got to do this
say
shit.
something.
You know what I'm saying? So I did it. And my cousin that did it actually rapped before I did.
Okay.
He wrote his shit would look like Mozart wrote it. It's because he didn't. When you look at my raps, it's like this might be a bar, this might be a bar, this might be a bar, and this might be the rest of the rap.
Right.
It's kind of hard. It's like, who the fuck wrote this? You know what I'm saying?
It's for you.
It's just for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he once I took it from him, he said I ain't do nothing with it, but I like what you did with it. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
So people not like that now. They try to take the shine away from you. They want to keep me with it. You know what I'm saying? So the rest is history.
Dig that, man. Well, let's wrap it up there, y'all. Give it up one more time. Lil Noid, thank you so much for coming, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, dog. I appreciate it.
Really do
love
appreciate it.
Whatever this is.
That did the trick. Yeah, so we're going to clear the stage. We've got Devil Trade coming up. But once again, check out Lil Noid's merch table over there. Do you mind signing some stuff? We got... We'll take pictures. We'll sign some shit. All that. Shangri-La's got a little poster. Or, a little merch table over here. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll be back next month for Al Capone's The Resurrection. Hope to see y'all there. Thank you for coming, and we appreciate it. Peace.